Using this information, John then landed a job at Missouri Pacific Railroad, where he helped the company use a new IBM computer system to help calibrate train schedules. Now keep in mind, during all of this, while going to college and working, John was drinking and doing various drugs. However, he was able to keep it all under control.
For example, while working at this Missouri Pacific Railroad job, John said that many of the times that he would go into work, he would be tripping on LSD. He also said, oh man, this is a good story right here. He also said that one day he was sold a bag of DMT. While at work, John decided to snort a line of it. However, he felt nothing, so he decided to snort the entire bag. John then said, and we quote,
"People were asking me questions, but I didn't understand what they were saying. The computer was spitting out train schedules to the moon. I couldn't make sense of it. I ended up running outside and hiding behind a garbage can in the downtown area, hearing voices and desperately hoping that nobody would look at me. I never went back to Missouri Pacific. Part of me believes I'm still on that trip, that everything since has been one giant hallucination, and that one day I'll snap out of it and find myself back on my couch listening to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon."
hell yeah.
Now, shortly after that, John graduated college and received his bachelor's degree in mathematics. In 1968, fresh out of college, John accepted a position at NASA's Institute for Space Studies, working as a programmer for the Apollo program.
Then, in 1970, John left NASA and took a job working for UNIVAC. Now, here's a little knowledge nugget. This UNIVAC company was developing and building computers and software for computers. One of the most famous computers they built was known for predicting the outcome for a U.S. presidential election. So that's just a little knowledge nugget to hold on to for a little later.
So John worked at this UNIVAC as a software designer until the mid-1970s, when he accepted a position at Xerox, working as an operating system architect. Then, in 1978, John left Xerox and joined Computer Science Corporations as a software consultant.
Just like his previous jobs, John didn't stay there long. Only 2 years later, in 1980, he accepted a position working for the consulting firm Booz Allen Hamilton. He worked there for 2 years until 1982, when he accepted a position at Omex.
During the first year at Omex, John's drug dependency grew more and more. While at work, his daily routine was snorting coke at his desk and drinking a bottle of scotch. He ended up getting fired from his job, and it was at this time that he started to feel alone and scared. So he decided to seek help. He joined Alcoholics Anonymous and became sober thereafter.
Now, shortly after getting sober in late 1983, John accepted a position for the famous defense contractor, Lockheed Martin. They hired John to work on a classified voice recognition program. It was here at Lockheed Martin that he learned about a self-replicating code designed to copy itself onto all floppy disks inserted into affected computers. This code was called a virus.
Now, at this time, in 1986, John was running a computer forum where people could chat with one another about certain topics. One of the people that John knew on this chat forum was an individual named Dennis Yell, who was also a brilliant programmer.
During this time, the first computer virus, called the brain virus, started hitting personal computers. John learned about this and called up Dennis Yell. He asked him if he could write up an antivirus program to stop this brain virus, and that he would pay him $200.
Dennis agreed, and in a day and a half, he sent the antivirus over to John. A little knowledge nugget here. John was in fact the producer and owner of the program, but Dennis was the programmer who coded it. Just keep that in mind.
So that afternoon, John posted the antivirus scan to his chat forum, and it quickly got 500,000 downloads. John knew that he was onto something here with this computer antivirus software stuff that, he created. So he decided to create McAfee Associates, a computer antivirus company.
Shortly after creating the company, it took off. By the end of the 1980s, McAfee antivirus software was making $5 million a year in profit. And the biggest companies in the world were using his antivirus platform. By 1989, John had quit his job at Lockheed Martin and devoted himself wholeheartedly to his fast-growing business.
Then in 1992, John quickly became even more successful, largely because of a computer virus called Michelangelo. John started making statements to the public that this Michelangelo computer virus was one of the worst viruses to date, estimating it would infect as many as 5 million computers.
Now, at the time, computer antivirus platforms weren't a product most people bought.